what type of advice do you have for people who I would say have like less than $10,000 to invest, maybe less than $1,000, how to kind of grow and build and really get that financial foundation that will last? That's a good start as opposed to just, kind of blowing it.
Well, the first thing is obviously understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. You got $10,000 or $1,000. Don't go to the Gucci store and blow it. Just because you got $1,000 doesn't mean you can afford a Gucci belt, which costs $1,000. Now, once we got that out of the way, what do you do with this money? If you're young, especially, and you're starting off, this is your time to take risks. The best way to learn is by going out and doing it. Obviously you should invest in your education, take classes, read books, do whatever you got to do to learn, but take risks. I made so many mistakes, and looking back, they're so dumb. I cannot believe how dumb I was. But if I did not make those mistakes, I would not be where I am today because I was willing to take risks. A lot of people told me that I was stupid and I was crazy. But that was the reality. Is I didn't see the risk. I just saw the opportunity. And when you're young, especially, you're kind of naive where either you're like, oh my God, what if this, and this happens and I'm going to fail? Or you're like, who cares if that happens? I'm going to try it. When you're young, you got to go for that. I'm just going to try it because you are going to learn no matter how bad of an outcome it is. You're going to learn something that with the next time you do it, you'll have a better opportunity to build more sustainable wealth. And the scary thing, nowadays is, like you're talking about, we have people in all markets, real estate, stocks, crypto, that are like, if I don't get 100% return in 3 days, it's not a good return. And, we have a very crazy market. We saw 2020, 2021 as a very crazy market. Just understand that sometimes markets go up and sometimes markets go down. And you don't really understand that. You can hear that and kind of say, oh yeah, I know that, but you don't know that until you really experience it and you see your portfolio get cut in half and nothing is turning around and everybody's screaming, everybody's selling. That's where real wealth is built, because that's where the majority of people get scared, they panic, they sell, and they run away. That's where you want to come in and you want to buy.
Great advice. So now that we see the opportunities that exist there, I'm curious, what's your feeling on different asset classes? So you mentioned you have a background in real estate. You've made videos on cryptocurrency. We got the stock market. We have many different types of assets out there, just holding cash, even with all the money that they're printing nowadays. So what's your take on different asset classes? Which ones are safer? Which ones are a bit riskier? Do you see anything happening?
So I'll tell you where I invest my money. I invest my money in real estate for cash flow. I invest my money in stocks. So this is ETFs and individual companies because I believe in the American economy. I invest in businesses because I believe in the innovation startups, innovative companies. And then I invest in gold, and not silver too much, but more on the gold side because I could be wrong about the economy, and cryptocurrency for the same reason, because that is the movement. Now, I look at gold and cryptocurrency not as an investment, more as just an asset. I look at it more like money. It's a position of a place where I hold my money rather than an actual investment. I don't look to see, what is the price of gold today? Well, am I getting a better return? That's not what I'm looking for. It's just a place for me to put some extra money into real money.
So everyone likes to know about portfolios, and not like talking numbers, but in terms of percentages. Like, are you willing to divulge how much, 25% in real estate? And
the majority of it is real estate. Okay. That's the biggest position. Second is stocks.
Cool. And when you invest in real estate, do you find those properties on your own? Do you work with a management company? I mean, you mentioned in some of your videos that you're a licensed real estate agent. So what do you look for?
I purchased my first rental property when I was 19. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I bought the property for $8,000 cash. And it sounds crazy. $8,000 cash? How can you ever find a property for $8,000? This is after the 2008 crash. The property, there was a small condo that I bought. the valuation, the previous owners, I think they bought it for somewhere between $120,000 and $150,000. When the crash happened, nobody was buying, and I was able to buy it for $8 million. Now, obviously, I got a little lucky with that. I had no idea what I was doing. I got lucky with the timing. Now, after that, I went out and I was like, I need to be involved in real estate, because I started renting that out for $600 a month. And I was like, I need to do more. So I went out and I got my real estate salesperson's license. And I started being a agent to help people buy and sell their home. As soon as I started doing that, I realized I hated being a real estate agent. I hated being a real estate salesperson. I like to be on the investment side. But I started to build a team. I started to meet more people. So now I work with a whole bunch of different real estate agents, real estate management companies and people. And I still have my license. I don't actively help people buy and sell homes, but I have my license because I like to look at properties myself. I get access to the real estate database. You don't need a license to do that, but I like it just because I can go show myself the properties. I'm involved. I like to go look at the properties. And then I also have management companies and agents sending me deals, because sometimes they're going to get off-market deals that they don't want to list, or they want to just sell quickly. If they know me, they know that, hey, if it's a good deal, I will close quickly. And so, I'm not looking at just one place. I will look wherever the deals are. And for me, I'm looking for ideally distressed properties. That's financially distressed or physically distressed. So physically distressed means a property is broken down, especially just cosmetically, because sometimes you'll have a home that's worth, let's just say $150,000, but it needs brand new carpet. It needs new paint. It smells like crap. It's got holes in the walls. If a person who wants to live in the home comes in and sees this, they're going to walk right out because it smells like crap. That's an opportunity for me, because I have a good team of contractors who can turn it around, renovate it. And so now this home that's worth $150,000 might be sold for $120,000. And it might only take me 10 or 15 grand to fix it up and get it rent ready. So now I can purchase this property for below market value because it's physically distressed. Financially distressed properties are a little bit different. This is more on your apartments, commercial type properties, where the last one was a 20-unit apartment complex that I purchased. It was almost completely vacant. The owner at the time didn't know what he was doing. He had too much debt. He didn't know how to manage the property. Tenants were not paying. He only had a few tenants in there. And so that's when we were able to buy the property way below what it was worth. Kicked out the people that weren't paying, cleaned out the apartments, renovated them a little bit, made them look a whole lot nicer. And then we just marketed them a whole lot better, got the property fully filled up. But we got to buy the property at a way below market value price just because it was financially distressed. The person who owned the property was bleeding cash. They couldn't afford their debt payments. They couldn't afford to pay the bills. So they needed to sell quickly. The banks were forcing them to sell. And so we were able to come in and buy fast.
That's awesome. And that's a great strategy, because we talk about that stuff with buying cryptos all the time, buying the ones that nobody's talking about, that really have solid fundamentals, but just isn't in the limelight at the moment. And then eventually just pumps once everybody realizes that it's doing well. So kind of the same thing with the crypto.
And I think when it comes to investing, the mistake that a lot of people make, and this goes across asset classes, real estate, stocks, crypto, people have a tendency, especially if you're not educated in that space, to follow what's hot. And so so what do I do? Well, let me buy this and hopefully sell it for a profit. There's no strategy involved. A deal that's good to me might be bad to you. And a deal that's bad to you might be good to me. It just depends on what your strategy is. So, in real estate, I look for certain types of deals. For other people, they might not look at single family homes. They might not look at multifamily properties. That's fine. Just depends on what's good for you. And the stock market, oh my God. One of the worst questions you can ask someone is, what stock should I buy? Because there's so much more to that. How long are you looking to invest your money? What is your goal? Do you want cash flow from dividends, or do you want to see appreciation? Do you want higher risk? Do you want growth? Or do you want more of a stable type of company? There is so much that you need to know when it comes to picking the stock. That's just a small piece of the equation. You need to know when to buy, how to buy, what is your strategy, and then how to sell. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people get confused is when it comes to investing, you need to know your strategy. And that's one of the things that I've been really pushing hard, especially when it comes to investing and things like the stock market, you need to have a strategy. If you don't understand how to invest, you are going to lose money, because that's where people come in and they buy an emotion. They hear all their friends buying Tesla. Maybe it's a good investment, maybe it's not. It just depends on what your goal is. And then they buy it because they hear everybody else talking about it, and then they hope they can sell it for a profit. That is not a strategy.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video on investments that you need to own for life. And while you're at it, download our free guide on how to start generating passive income. And as always, keep hustling. If you still believe in the long-term value of this company, you're just not happy with the price, then you are switching sides. That's why you got to start by understanding your goal and knowing what your strategy is. Because if you're investing for the long term, then you got to understand market crashes are a part of the game.